Hey there, you're listening to the Pursue Your Spark podcast. My name is Heike Yates, and on this show we talk about how to unlock your potential in your fitness lifestyle with tips, strategies, and interviews to help you create the life you love. Hey everybody, welcome to the Pursue Your Spark podcast, and today we're talking fashion. As you guys know, I am no fashionista. I'm always needing a lot of help when it comes to putting my outfits together. And what better person to have on the show is my friend Misty Khan. And she is the originator, the mastermind behind the closet or My Closet Reboot. So welcome to the show, Misty.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. And you look fabulous today, by the way.
Oh, thank you. I did my best to dress up. So for everybody who is watching the video, of course, we always do video. You can see that I actually dressed up for Misty because she always looks so fabulous and so at ease with her clothes that I put a little effort in to match her beauty.
Well, thank you. You look great. And I kind of went for the boho casual look today. So they're both great looks, but I feel like a little underdressed today, but that's okay. It's Saturday.
That's all good. So the reason I have Misty on the show, our audience, our listeners have asked me and they say, Heike, how do I dress for success in midlife? And that's why I wanted to bring Misty on the show. But before we dive into this, Misty, tell us about the Closet Reboot and how you came up with the idea and who you are.
Well, thank you, Heike. So Closet Reboot actually is all about what you just talked about, reaching that certain middle age and saying, I still want to look great. I can't wear maybe what I wore 10, 20 years ago, but I don't want to be frumpy either. And, 40, 50, that's the new 20, 30 these days. So we still want to look sharp, but we also want to reflect the maturity that we have in life. So Closet Reboot started as a way to, first of all, actually renovate my closet and have it be this wonderful kind of place that I could go in the morning and start my day off right. So I'd walk in and it's well organized and I know what I'm going to wear. And that way I can be better for everyone else. And then that required having that right wardrobe. So that's how it bled into the working with stylists and bringing my style up to date and then working with my friends to help them do the same thing.
How would you know what your style is? Because that's where I get stuck. I'm like, I see all these magazines and I'm like, you said, I don't want to look frumpy. We're all so young in our 50s, 40s, 50s, and 60s and above that I don't know sometimes what to pick and what would look good on me. What would you say?
Well, I think that's a great question. And I think one of the best places to get started with that, especially in these days where anything goes fashion is kind of in, is get on Pinterest. Get out there and just look at things and see what kind of draws your eye, first of all, what style draws your eye, what color draws your eye. And as you start these Pinterest boards, you'll start seeing themes. But then the next thing you've got to do is start trying these things on. You look at them, but then also have other people that that you think have good style or potentially stylists. I've actually talked to professional stylists. Take a look and tell you what they think flatters you, and then what you feel good in. And that'll also start to project a theme. And so you start figuring out pretty quickly what styles work best on my figure, what do I feel great when I'm in. And then the other piece of it is color. Just looking at your coloring, what are those colors that wash you out versus those colors that people compliment? Pay attention when people say, oh, that's a great color on you. And just start being more mindful. One of the things that I recommend is when you've got an outfit on that you feel great about or that you got a lot of compliments on, take a selfie and start a lookbook album on your phone or on your computer, and you'll start seeing some trends jump out at you.
Well, that is a great idea because when I buy something and I'm at the store and I'm really never sure whether this looks good or not, since my husband always thinks most everything looks great on me, but that he's no judge.
Good job. That's good job, honey. That's the right answer.
But then my daughter said, take a picture and send it to me. And I'm sometimes really surprised how different it looks than what I think it looks like.
Uh-huh. And it also, you've got to find the right angle when you are taking it. It's funny, I'm taking this whole course right now on how to take professional selfies because a lot of us are not comfortable taking pictures of ourselves, even when somebody else is taking a picture of you. I've always felt like, oh, I'm not photogenic. I don't like pictures of myself. But for what I'm doing right now, it is really forcing me outside my comfort zone to have to do that. And so one of the things that I've learned as I've been doing that is, and really it's a good thing for everybody to know how to do in this day and age. How many times have you had somebody say, hey, send me a selfie, either for a profile picture, or it could be nonprofit work you're doing. So knowing how to do that is good. So you've got to kind of play with the angles a little bit to see what most reflects how other people see you and how if you're really giving yourself the proper view, because you take something at the wrong angle and it could look completely different. But
very true. Very true. Now, for those of listeners, you can't see that Misty's actually sitting in her closet and it looks super awesome, organized. But if you watch the video, you'll see that. But what is the question I have is, what are the must-haves in a closet for a woman in midlife to dress like you described? You want to feel your best.
So I would tell you that for every woman, it's a little bit different. I mean, almost everyone, I would say, needs at least one fabulous pair of jeans that they really like the way they look in. For me, when I went on that jean journey, which, I mean, who would have guessed that would have been one of the hardest things for me to find that I really loved. And so I think it was very important having somebody with me there when I went to pick out the right jeans. But I would say you have to keep your mind open about those things, especially as we get into midlife. What looked great on me before I had children, right after I had children, versus now when my body structure has changed very much, is completely different. So you got to keep your mind open about the brands and about the fit and about the cut. But I would say, at least if you don't have a great pair of jeans, you need some kind of that casual pair of pants. So I would also say a nice crisp pair of khakis or khaki colored slacks. So I have both. I have khakis, like cotton khakis that are kind of a little more casual. And then I have the ones that are a little dressier for work. I think that also makes a difference too, what are you doing right now? Are you still out there in an active career? Because if you are, then you absolutely have to have at least one suit. Even now, I mean, when people are a lot more casual, I would actually even say almost everybody needs to have at least one suit. You never know when you're going to have a life event, when you're going to have an interview. So that's a really good thing. And then, of course, everybody needs that nice dress that you can go to, again, for those last minute events. I'm a big believer in the little black dress. A lot of people would tell you not everyone should wear black, but I don't agree with that. I think everybody can wear black. It's how you accessorize it. So there's those things. And then, I think the other thing I would say is, one other thing, a crisp white shirt. That's always going to work with a suit. It's always going to look great with a pair of jeans or with a pair of khakis. So you can't go wrong with a nice crisp white shirt. Other than that, I would just say it's a matter of, what is your lifestyle? If you're in business, it's going to be different than if you're retired. And if you're retired and you're spending your time doing a lot of nonprofit work, versus if you're retired and you're out in your garden all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think it's true too when you said, invest in a couple of key pieces, because I remember I used to buy $30 jeans.
Oh, and jeans are the thing you want to spend money on, right? Because that's the thing you're going to wear a lot. And if you get a great pair, it's going to carry you through several seasons. But I hear you. I used to be that way with my shoes. So I would take that black pair of pants that I wear, at least once a week, if not more. And that was the one I didn't spend that much on. And I've completely changed especially as we get older, we start having the back issues, all those kind of things. Right fitting pair of shoes. You do not go cheap on your feet.
Okay.
Take care of your feet. So that's.
Now I have to say, guys, Misty has a fabulous shoe collection. I called her the Imelda Marcos of shoes, and she says, no, I only have how many pairs, Misty?
I think I'm like right around 50, which is still a lot, but it's not.
But you have shoes, and the listeners who don't follow you just yet don't know that you do these amazing comparisons with this shoe goes with these pair of pants, and then you put different pair of pants or dresses and you compare them side by side in shots, so you can actually see what works together and what shoes you have to have, which is another question I have. Which shoes do you have to have that you may not end up with 50 pairs, because I had to pare down to like 20 maybe.
Yeah, well, and when I say 50, that includes my little flip-flops for when I get a pedicure. That includes my athletic shoes. So it sounds a little bit more. If we're really talking about dress shoes, it's a smaller number. So I would say almost anybody, you can never go wrong with a nice basic black pair of pumps. And I mean, I think it's important you have at least one pair of pumps that are just solid, not the peep toe, just kind of a nice solid black pair. And if you're only going to have one pair, I'd say go for a mid heel height. So, and everybody's a little different with heel height. I love ridiculously, obnoxiously high heels, and I'm for it now. So it's funny.
For those of you who don't see us on the video, she's showing stiletto heels, like big ones, the ones that make you really sexy.
Yeah, I could actually reach up and grab a pair if you want me to show an example, but should I do that? Should I grab a pair real quick?
I don't know. For those of you, the listeners can't see you, but.
That's right. So one nice little trick with that is, I'm about mid height. I used to be on the taller side. I've already kind of lost a little bit of that, but, so I'm kind of in that 5'7" range, 5'6", 5'7" range. So when you're that height, you can kind of go either way. I do know women, especially professional women, they're a little on the shorter side, and heels for them, it's important. They like to add a little bit of height. So one good trick for that in mid-age is the platform. And it's great because right now you can get those, and then you're not that huge differential, between the front and the back, but you still get a nice little bit of height. So that's a real helpful thing. And you can, even for your nice little basic pair of pumps, have that. So I like the black. The other thing I would say is really big right now are nudes. It's nice to have one nice nude pair of shoes, and they could be sandals or they could be something a little bit different. Again, that depends on your climate. Now, I'm down here in Houston where, let's face it, we don't just have a ton of time where we can't get away with a sandal if we really want to, although I try to avoid them in the winter, but you can do that down here. If you're up north, I don't know that that's going to fly real well. You're going to walk outside. I was in Colorado a few weeks ago, and I thought, I'm going to that. Yeah.
So nudes, a pair of black pumps. What else?
I would also say a nice pair of booties. You can get booties these days that can go either way, that kind of walk that line. If you go for like a nice kind of leather pair that maybe has a simple buckle, those can be dressed up, those can be dressed down, and you can wear them with jeans, or you can wear them with tights and even a pencil skirt sometimes. So I would go for one of the ones that are a little bit more fitted. If you're just gonna have one pair. Now I have I love Booties. It's one of my favorite things.
They've become my favorite as well. I just recently bought a couple, and I love them for the jeans. I love them for, like you said, I don't wear skirts, as you know, but with dresses, and I just think they look cute.
I think they're great, and they're so practical. They
Yeah.
can do a lot of different things. If you want to get out there on the a little bit edgier, right now the over the new knee boots, and I do think those look like they're going to carry over to next year as well. I would say for colder climates, those are surprisingly practical as well, because I took a pair with me to Colorado and they had a nice rubber sole on them, so I wasn't too worried about the snow. And I was amazed at how much warmth that added. And then I'll even wear them with a long skirt, again, just because it gives you that a little bit of extra warmth. And they look fabulous. So that's a good one to think about too. I would say if you're more top heavy, then you can go with a lighter colored over the knee boot. If you find you're more bottom heavy and a little lighter on top, then you might want to go with a darker color over the knee boot. And either way, really flattering look.
That's a great idea. So we don't need to go for 50 pairs of shoes, but some key pieces like the jeans and the booty shoes and the dress, I think definitely also cuts down on spending a lot of money, I think, which may be an issue for many of us, to invest in a large wardrobe to choose from.
One other one I'll add real quick on that is, especially if you live in the Southwest or if you live in the South, for everybody, it's going to be trendy for this season coming up. Cowboy boots. I've invested a pair of Lucchese's, which are a little more expensive, but you can get them at Boot City or some of these places. And I've had those things for over a decade now. I've had them resold once. They're fabulous. And they also can look good with anything. As again, depending kind of what area you live, but for this coming season, cowboy boots are going to be, Western is very in for everybody.
Ooh, okay. We keep that in mind, because that's going to be a question that's going to come up too. But when you think about putting your outfits together, and that's, again, I'm going by what I do. I don't decorate myself a lot. I have earrings and maybe sometimes a necklace and my wedding band, but I don't do scarves or necklaces, big things. What's your recommendation if somebody wants to get into this?
Well, first of all, I like what you just said is a personal brand, and it's very nice. I mean, your earrings, I like your earrings. They're those are always in, and some people, depending on your style, are not going to get real fussy with those kind of accessories. But even just having those, even if you wear the same ring, the same pair of earrings, and the same necklace every day, that could be okay for your style. It just kind of, you have to pay attention to what you feel comfortable with. Mm-hmm. Now, with scarves, I will tell you that is, and maybe even some of those trendier pieces of jewelry, if you do have a little bit of difficulty kind of stepping out, those can be a great thing to dress up, even like a weekend casual outfit. So if you're struggling a little bit with how to accessorize, that's a great way to kind of ease in. So a few weeks ago, I did a video, actually it was over the winter holidays, with my friend Laquita, and she was not going to be going in a lot. She was going to have a lot of just kind of errand running days. And so a lot of days with just kind of like one of those Athleta sweatshirt dresses and maybe some black leggings. And I said, that's all good. These days you can definitely look stylish in activewear. I mean, there's some fabulous activewear out there. I said, but let's just step it up a little with just like a little accessory. So I love throwing scarves in with a t-shirt dress or with a sweatshirt dress. It is amazing how just taking a cotton or a heavier scarf and just kind of tying it around your neck can completely now make you feel like, oh, I didn't just throw something on to run out. I actually kind of have a little bit of a look going. I love that. And I think it's a great look. With a denim jacket, just throwing on like a little cottony bait scarf looks absolutely amazing. The other thing we did with her on another outfit was I actually threw a little simple bling necklace with it. So she had this black sweatshirt dress and black leggings, and we just threw this nice little casual semi-strand bling necklace, and it looked so cute. And it actually picked up a little bit of the silver that was in her trainers. So that's a good way to dive in if you're not completely comfortable. The other thing I would say about accessorizing is, this is back to kind of the colors so I'm wearing today white, which is probably not actually one of my better colors. I'm a fall color girl. And then I'm wearing sort of this taupey, which is right kind of on the edge. So you can pull in colors that maybe you like, but that maybe aren't the most flattering with your accessories. So if you have a necklace that has, so if you are going to get, like, if you're diving in new with accessories and you want to get something with a little bit of weight, get something that flatters your colors, and then you can use that to maybe pull in a neutral or a basic, and you'll love the way you look with that, because it's amazing how putting that right color makes such a difference. The other thing that we forget about that is an accessory, which is what I use today, is your makeup. So yesterday, as a matter of fact, so this will be my video for a couple weeks forward. I worked with a friend of mine who's got similar coloring to me. Now, full disclosure, Mama
is a redhead at the moment.
Yeah, this isn't exactly what I was born with, but I do have red in my hair naturally, but she is a natural redhead. So we picked a couple of outfits. She's an interior designer. So we were sort of looking for something that would work with the room. But with her, the way we were pulling in some of her outfits was she had a makeup artist that was going to maybe give her a red lip, or give her a little bit more color or a smoky eye. So don't forget, your makeup can also potentially be an accessory.
That's a great idea, because I am very minimal on makeup, and I did put makeup on for you today, but oh, thank you. Let's talk about for those special moments when you want to go out, when you're invited to a black tie affair, and you need that special dress. Should you have that in your closet?
Everyone needs at least one nice dress in their closet for an emergency. But what I would tell you for a special occasion like what you just described, which is when you know it's coming, you got a little bit of forewarning. I am a huge believer in renting. So I'm a Rent the Runway person. I started that years ago because these days we see our pictures all over the place. You don't have to be a celebrity for your picture to show up on Facebook. I mean, just in this age of social media. And then what you'll find is if you just have that one dress that you wear every time that's in your closet, you're gonna start to feel like you're seeing the same thing over and over again. And also, when you're going to an event like a wedding or someone's graduation, you want them to feel special. You want them to feel like you dressed for their event. So, about a year and a half ago, I had a bunch of events coming. I had a couple of spring weddings. I had my son's high school graduation, a couple of other things. So I've been doing Rent the Runway for a while. For that one, I actually decided to try Rent the Runway Unlimited, which is a good thing to think about if you've got a season where you've got a couple things coming up, because what you can do is you pay a set fee for the month, and then you've got 4 things that you can rotate at any one time. So I was able to rent 4 very nice dresses for what I probably would have paid to just rent one. By doing that in that particular season. And some of the advantages you'll find is you can have a really nice dress for a much less than you would pay to go buy it. I mean, I think I had one that was like a $900 dress, and here I was going to wear it once. Well, I'm not going to pay $900 to wear a dress once, but I could rent it for $90. And maybe I have a couple of occasions that I wore it to. So I think it's a really good thing to keep in mind. The other thing too is that way you can have something that's a little bit more on trend and in style. So I have this rack in the back of my closet of full length versus T length versus, the different trends that have been in. This way you can get something that's very up to date, and you can make whoever the event is featuring feel like you really put in that little extra effort for them.
Yeah.
And nice.
Because I like when we talked, I was like, I can't see myself spending $1,000 just for one dress. I just don't. And then we talked about renting, and you were so excited about Rent the Runway. So I have to try this for my next big occasion, which I'm not sure when it's going to be, but I'm sure it will come at some point. But when you talk about closet, Misty, do you organize your closet in a specific way?
Yes, and I would say that is ever evolving. So, and I don't think we should be afraid of that. I mean, I think I'm a big purger. I think when I was a kid, I came from a house where there was we were all kind of tended to be hoarders. And then after you make those first couple of big moves, you learn to be good at purging. And I have found that, especially as my memory starts getting not as great as it once was, that being well organized really helps you remember what all you have in your wardrobe, and it makes it easy to get to, and you know what's clean and what's not. So a couple of the ways that I've organized my closet, and one thing you got to keep in mind with this is space. So I'm very fortunate right now. I have the biggest closet I've ever had in my life, and I'm divorced. I live in my own home with my 2 boys and my lab, and so it's all mine. I let my boyfriend back for when he's here, but for the most part, it is all mine. Now, I also live in a city where you can have a little bit more square footage at a reasonable rate. A lot of people that live up north, that live in Europe, that live in different parts of the world, maybe don't have as big a closets. So you have to keep those things in mind. So what a lot of people that will do that have smaller closets is they'll do the seasonal rotation. Where you can keep your things that are not in season in containers that can either go under the bed or that can get stored somewhere else. For me, and especially because I live in a climate where it's pretty hot, and okay, it's not hot. And then maybe we have 2 weeks where, okay, it's cold. I need to pull out my ski jacket. So
in case we didn't mention it, Misty lives in Houston, Texas. So the weather is really variable there.
It is. I mean, especially in the winter season, we had 30 degrees not that long ago, and it's going to hit 75 today, Fahrenheit for those of. So that's pretty warm. I don't know my Celsius translation real well on the top of my head, but anyway, if you live in a climate and you have a smaller closet where you really do have 4 seasons, then I would say actually have that change out time, and then that's a great time to kind of purge and look at reorganizing. So I'm big on organizing by color. So on my racks where I have like a rack where I have my blouses, I have one for my dress blouses, I have one for my casual blouses, and that includes athletic stuff. I have one for my suits, one for my skirts, one for my dresses, and one for my pants. And what I do on each of those racks is I organize by color. And I find, especially when I do have a business wardrobe, and I have some staple pieces that have been with me over a decade, but then I have some things that are kind of trendier that come in and out. And just by organizing by color, I find it helps me remember things otherwise I might have forgotten I had.
Okay. Does it make you also easier to put your outfits together?
Absolutely. So that's what I mean. Like when I grab like a staple piece that I say, okay, this is something that I want to wear on this day, and I'm looking for the things to coordinate. When I didn't necessarily pay as attention to having things by color, I'd find I'd forget about things. Mm-hmm. So I also try to be a little mindful of that in my pictures in my lookbook. The other thing that I have done recently, just in the last 6 months, is I started taking. I've always stored my shoes in the box that they were purchased in. I'm really tough on my stuff. I'm a little bit of a klutz. So I'm like, okay, I gotta keep them in the box and keep them cleaned up. But what I did was I went on and pulled all my shoes out of the box, and I actually have a video where I talked about this as a quick tip, and I have an apparatus that a friend of mine had that I've got them all lined out where I can see them. That has been a tremendous help. Because I definitely found I was forgetting about certain pairs of shoes that I had. So having them where you can see them well, and when you're choosing an outfit, huge difference.
Yeah. Now let's get to Misty's top advice for the forecast for 2019. I mean, we're in the beginning of 2019, so Misty's fashion forecast for 2019, ladies. Here it comes.
Okay. Well, I think I did mention earlier that my understanding is Western is going to be coming in for this spring.
Western. Okay.
Western, you're struggling a little bit with what that means because it doesn't have to be cowboy boots. I actually do have a video coming out this Sunday where I worked with a friend of mine, Natalie King, and we're going to talk about that. So Western can be just denim shirt, denim jacket. It can be a leopard print style with Western means a little bit of bling these days. So we'll talk a little bit about all that. But yeah, if you've thought about investing in that pair of cowboy boots, this is probably a good season to do it. So that's one. It looks like florals are sticking around. This is funny because I did a video last summer talking about kind of the summer trends for last summer and what we predicted would still be around in a year and what we hoped would still be around in a year and what might go away. And one of the things I was really hoping would stick around was florals, and it definitely looks like florals are sticking around. So that's a good thing. Blush pink, some people call it millennial pink, has been around for a while. I think that's still going to be around, but what I am seeing a lot of is more of the close, not really a hot pink, but sort of a dusty rose pink. And let me see.
Yeah, I'm thinking, I'm not sure what that rose sounds to me like, little old lady color.
Okay, but definitely, I just happened to.
Okay, if you see the video, this is hot pink.
It's a hot pink. But it's not like a neon, although
no, that's true.
I'm seeing a hot pink. One thing from you're not seeing if you're not seeing the video is, and well, even if you were seeing the video, this continuation of wearing different textures into any season, that's not going anywhere. So the hot pink shoes pumps that I just pulled out are actually like a micro suede. And people are going to be wearing them in spring and probably on into the summer. I have a pair of navy suede shoes that I will wear any time of year. Boy, when I was a kid, that was a no-no. You wore patent leather in the summer and you wore suede in the winter and you wore white and then you wore winter white in the winter. That's all kind of gone out the window, and I don't see that changing.
So, cowboy boots or Western style, floral shirts, and then this pink rose color is a big hit. What else?
So yeah, florals anytime, by the way. And I mean, I think those are the big ones that I've seen that I feel comfortable. I think the denim jackets are going to continue to be kind of that staple piece. I actually didn't have a denim jacket a year and a half ago, and what did I wear? I don't know how I survived. So, but yeah, I think continuing to wear the denim jacket with you could have a pretty little floral summery dress and throw that denim jacket on and kind of bring it down a little bit for just a casual lunch. Or you can get rid of that and you can have your nice little pashmina, light colored pashmina to have it as a more, and a maybe chunky heel pair of sandals to have it as a more elevated look. So
I'm getting so many good ideas from you, Misty, already. I'm thinking, what do I have in my closet that I can put together based on what you just said?
I promise you have things in there that you wouldn't have thought of.
Yeah, Misty has actually said it would be awesome to get together in my closet, which is nothing compared to her closet, and just say, hey, what do you have? I think we eventually should do that just for fun.
I would love that. Even if we did it over video, I'd love it, but I'd love to do it in person too.
So now, final question is, what advice would you give women in midlife that are like I am, stuck with their fashion or not sure where to go with their body types as we're changing, what would you tell them?
Okay, so one of the things that I've really been enjoying is, this is not just midlife, but I do think it's particularly important for us because I think just some of the thing that we tell each other, I'm too old for that. I can't get away with that. I think invite a second pair of eyes into your closet. It doesn't have to be a professional stylist. Maybe it's your sister, maybe it's your daughter, maybe it's your mother, but just someone that has a great eye. Hey, in a lot of cases, it's my friends, it's their husbands. I know some men that have a great eye and that will be honest about it. In my case, my brother actually has a great eye. So he's so good at being diplomatic about it. It's really impressive. Shout out to my brother, Bill Hibbler, very good about that. But yeah, I think that's a good thing. I think what we talked about earlier too, taking those pictures, taking those selfies and helping us get a little bit of different view. And, one of the things that I would say is when you go out and you're meeting a friend, take a picture with each other just because, I think those are lovely things to have to look back on. And then you can look back and say, gosh, that was a great day. I got a lot of compliments that day. What was I wearing? What kind of worked for me? What were my friends in the picture wearing? Because a lot of times when we see each other, we know that we have a friend that we think always looks great, but you don't necessarily pay attention to those details until you get ready to get. So I would say start taking pictures with your friends, and then you can have that to go back and look back on and say, hey, that person that I always think looked great, or I thought she looked wonderful, what was she wearing? And do I have a similar body style to her? And maybe paying attention to that. And again, the whole Pinterest thing, looking on there, looking at what celebrities tend to have a body shape that's more like yours, and what are they wearing? Because celebrities are really good at that. They're paying a lot of money for professional stylists.
True, very true. So, Misty, tell our listeners how they can reach you and have you help them organize their closet or reboot their closet.
So I would love to have you join me on my YouTube channel. That is Closet Reboot. So if you do a search on Closet Reboot, you will find me on YouTube. On Instagram, I am My Closet Reboot. On Facebook, I'm Closet Reboot. And then I have a blog that is Closet-Reboot. So hopefully one day I'll get all of those the same. But the YouTube channel, every Sunday I do a wardrobe planning video. And most Thursdays I do a quick tip. Those quick tips can be everything from a wardrobe planning idea or a style idea to a closet idea. I have a playlist on YouTube that's very specific to that, and I have a grouping on my my blog that's specific to that versus the style ones.
Okay, that's awesome, because then you guys can see actually how this all looks. This is really hard to describe it on a podcast, but you might just as well listen while you're organizing your closet, while you're at it. So if not, you go back and watch the video. But these are great tips and such great help, not only for me, but definitely for my listeners. And I'd like to thank you so much for being here on the show today, Misty. It was a pleasure.
Thank you so much for having me. It was fun. It was fun getting to chat with you more. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure. So we'll see you in your closet soon, or my closet.
That sounds good. When you're trying to figure out what to wear next Sunday, come join me.
That's right. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Wasn't this so much fun? I had a great time getting advice from Misty, and in my head, as I said, I already put outfits together that look cute, professional, and age appropriate. Please reach out to Misty, ask her any questions you might have, and maybe have her help you reboot your closet, because the videos she does are incredible and the ideas amazing. So that's it for today. And if you have not subscribed to the Pursue Your Spark podcast yet, please do so you do not miss out on any of the episodes. We're here every other week, so enjoy the rest of your day. I love that you spend time with us today listening to the Pursue Your Spark podcast. Until next time, ciao.